Semi beats. Semi beats.
All right, you there, Dalton?
Hey, what's up, guys?
All righty, going ahead and go over our top 6 games, week 4, and go ahead and go everything NFL happened from yesterday, especially finishing off with the Monday night. So, all right, got some good wins, some good games. I'd say our top 6 lived up to the calling here. I'd say we've had pretty much good games, with most of the ones that we picked, especially with obviously Colorado. Shooter having a crazy game. WKU obviously having another crazy game. So, all right, we'll go ahead and get to it here. So let's see. All right, so 31-19 Louisville, hometown team here, was able to get the big dub. Was looking scary kind of at the end, but they're looking good. Their schedule, not that tough. Notre Dame coming up this week, but they was able to get the dub. They got some good transfers and wide out. It seems like they got the same quarterback as Plummer. This guy is like Plummer version 2, I feel like, with Shuck or Show, however you say his name.
He's more explosive, I think, in his defense. I think they moved the ball down the field more this year than in years past.
Yeah.
That's so far, but they haven't played nobody really good yet. Georgia Tech was their biggest challenge, and he didn't look great. He looked all right that game, but
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. Louisville's looking good. If they blew them out, I think I'd be more surprised than what they did. Georgia Tech was fighting at the end, but they was able to get the dub. Braum able to keep the train moving, and I
they
like Braum. He's one of those. You see, he
covered the
covered.
spread, didn't they? I think it was 10.5.
Yeah,
I think.
yeah, they covered.
Defensive touchdown and a special team touchdown, though, and I think
Yeah, well, I think they got a safety. Well, I think didn't they get a safety?
I don't think they got a safety. They had a defensive touchdown and
No,
special teams
that's what
touchdown,
it
though.
was.
So
Yeah,
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 that's what the good teams do. They create mistakes and opportunities to score, and that's what they're doing. That's what they're doing.
yeah. It was hot too. It was like 90 something, 90 degrees with heat
Oh
index. It was
yeah,
hot
that's
all weekend.
sad not to go to
Yeah,
that.
yeah,
And their defense is good. Their defense is good. And Gelati up front, and their secondary is good too. So this Notre Dame game should be good. Riley Leonard ain't been throwing the ball well, so if they stop the run, I think advantage Louisville.
I'll take them. I think they're going to win. I don't like. Obviously, I'll be on their coach all year, Freeman, and I don't think he's. I just don't think he's the guy. I don't know. I just don't think Notre Dame. It's the same old Notre Dame team, just a little bit better. But U of L, I think they'll go in. They'll go out, and I think they'll get the win. They looked good. I mean, at the end, it was kind of looking crazy, but defense stood up. And their defense, is like we'll talk about defense, how big it is, and then Colorado and pretty much all these games, how if you can't stop when you need to, then you're not going to be able to. So especially like with USC, if you can't score points, I mean, you got it. We'll go ahead and move on to USC 27-24 Michigan. First start for Alex Orji. I
Yeah.
thought I don't know Miller Moss.
If that's what we're
Miller
gonna
Moss
call it,
went
I
down.
mean, if we're gonna call it a start,
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like
they
if
trusted him as
even
far as they could throw that. They trust him as far as they can throw him, man.
yeah, no, he's not good. I mean,
They just
they're
don't
back to the
trust him,
old
but
Michigan.
they didn't need
It's
to, I
like
guess. Khalil Mullings is a beast.
yeah, I know it's crazy. So I mean, I think we're gonna have a lot of good more games here at Michigan. I think if they win any more games, they're all going to be close. Especially I don't know. I just don't think their team is built to have crazy explosiveness and put up a lot of points. I think I've never believed into like the race of 30, the race to 25 in the game, but it's getting to that point to where once a team gets past a certain point, they're just it's not the other team doesn't give up, it's just they can't stop the nosebleed once it gets going.
It seems that
So
way this year. Yeah, you're right. When
yeah,
Avalanche goes, it keeps going. But it's a good team Michigan beat, man. So I mean, shout out Michigan for not quitting after they were down. They couldn't throw the ball, and they still came back and won, even though USC knew what they were going to do. They are a physical bunch, and they're going to play defense still. So I mean, you can't count them out any game.
no, no. I think with USC they're looking I think a little bit better than people expected with first year being in the Big Ten. I mean, up front, it's always the question. Yeah, that's the question with Oregon. It's a question with a bunch of teams. It's pretty much down to your quarterback and your O and D line. Can they show up? So I mean, I don't know. What do you think? After the USC so far, we got USC coming in. They were highly touted. Miller Moss, balling out the end of last year. What do you think they're at right now? Do you think they're still a good playoff contender? What do you think after seeing that about USC?
I didn't think they were before, really. Before the year started, at least, let's say that. I mean, I don't think anything changed at the first couple of weeks, if you didn't already think so. So I didn't think they're going to play
Yeah,
off, really. I mean, anybody's a chance right now. It's 12 team. But a good chance. No, I didn't think they did. I didn't think they were physical enough in the Big Ten, and I think that showed Saturday. And if they could stop the run at all, they win easy. I mean, there's a one-dimensional team. They just got beat by that. So I mean, I thought that's what would happen in the Big Ten, and right now that's what's happening. They have to prove me wrong. Even though some of the bad teams they play, like Northwestern and Minnesota, they're physical still. So I mean, they're gonna have to deal with those teams too. I thought that's not a cakewalk for USC when you haven't played them before.
yeah, no, for real. That you're right. You're right. I mean, I think what we're seeing out of a bunch of these teams, they're a lot tougher than what we think. I think these transfer portal kids are kind of getting a bad knock. I think, so, I mean, they're playing hard. Lions are playing as hard as they ever have. I think with Michigan, I don't think they're a contender. I don't think anyone does, honestly. But coming off the Harbaugh year, it's hard when you win a championship and go all in like that, and then you lose your coach. Like it's hard for them to even win this game. I think raise even a little eyebrows with them having quarterback drama and all that good stuff. But I mean,
It's a
if
good
we want
win.
to talk, yeah, it was a good win for them. I think they'll. I don't know how many more big wins they'll get. I know obviously the game at the end of the year, Ohio State. So Ohio State's their strength of schedule is not really talked about a lot right now. They're not playing anyone
I
really.
mean,
So
not at all.
they're not playing no one. But I mean, like I said, with Michigan having quarterback drama, we can roll on to that to our next game here with Utah and Oklahoma State quarterback drama maybe in Utah.
It keeps
Uh,
going.
got got Zach Wilson's little bro out there balling, and Cam Rising's going to have to obviously become a cheerleader again and become a clipboard guy for the rest of the year. He'll probably get another year of eligibility, in the NCAA. So I don't really won't be surprised
He's
about that.
he's
So
so old.
yeah, and I mean honestly, I think Gundy has just been stealing money for the past 5 years, 10 years. I mean, I don't think Oklahoma State's good. The whole best running back in the nation
Oh, he ain't
coming
doing it. He's
in,
getting
Ollie
shut down
Gordon.
this year.
He's not good. He's not. it's hard to say who's going to be the best running back. I mean, Gene T is the best running back. I think that he had the hype coming in, but Ollie Gordon and Dylan Edwards, you could pretty much agree, had the biggest hype running back wise coming in this year.
Amarion Hampton's living up to his so far in his defense. He was always hyped up in North Carolina.
UNC, yeah, I liked him, and I like him, and he was, but you got to think with Dylan Edwards, there he's not even getting as many reps. He's not the DeMarco Murray workhorse that he's supposed to be.
I don't know why everybody thought that. DJ Giddens had 1,000 yards last year, man. He's a good back.
It's, I think it's the Leonard Fournette effect where they don't even pay attention. They just say, "Oh, that's the guy," and he's supposed to be good because everybody says they are, and they don't even look at it. But I mean, yeah, Utah able to get the dub. Oklahoma State, they've been scraping by earlier this year. Every year they've been scraping by their wins. They shoot themselves in the foot for about 3 quarters, 2.5 quarters, and then all of a sudden they find a way. And sometimes that's good about your team. Sometimes you hang your hat on that fact, but sometimes that's your worst quality. So too many teams that are in the game that really shouldn't be in the game, and we've seen it with college football with transfer portal. It's not watering down. It's just, I think, making it more level across the board. If you let a team hang around, they're going to let you pay. And so Utah, I mean, is this Utah team better? You take this Utah team better than last year's Utah team or no? What do you think?
I like Isaac Wilson wasn't there last year. I didn't like their
No.
quarterback last year at all. So I mean, he's better than what they
Yeah.
had last year. He's still not Cam Rising though. They won because of their defense and their run game. That's what's going to be the rest of the year. We'll see if Wilson
Yeah.
can develop on the job. If so, I mean they definitely they're my Big 12 favorites right now. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, no, I feel you. I feel you on that. So, I mean, we'll move on to WKU. We knew it was going to be a crazy game. Toledo coming in crazy offense all year, scoring a lot of points. They looked like they were up. They were up. They looked like they were going to run away with it maybe there in Bowling Green, but the toppers. Like you said, you've mentioned it in the past. It doesn't matter who they have at coordinator, quarterback, or head coach. They're just going to score points. And when they play good when the lights are on, when it's a bowl game, they play good when people are watching. And everybody knew this was going to be a good game. But I think people thought Toledo was still going to inch it out. And they didn't. They didn't. So, I mean, WKU, they went ahead and benched my dude,
I told you
TJ.
about Belt Camp, man.
Yeah, they benched TJ Finley, so Veltkamp's leading the charge there. TJ Finley, adding to his jersey collection there of how many he's been able to rack up there at different schools. He's at his 3rd or 4th school now, so yeah, I mean WKU looking good. I think.
Surprising game
Go
to me.
ahead.
And I really thought Toledo was going to win that. Honestly,
Yeah, I did too. I did
after
too.
they
And that's
what they did to Mississippi State, I know Mississippi State's not good. It's still SEC school, man. You go in there, win by 24, and then you can't win at Western Kentucky. That's just great. Good job, Western, man. Impressive win.
yeah. Yeah, no, they're killing it. I think WKU is always just going to be. You got to really accept they've kind of submitted their brand in college football. You can just always count on good offense. So yeah, we'll see with conference realignment if they end up anywhere in the next couple years. I know with the American Conference, Memphis just said they're not leaving for the Pac-12. So
Yeah, they all agreed to stay apparently. All four Tulane and Tulsa and
mhm.
UTSA and Memphis. Pac-12 is
I
not
could
going.
see, yeah, I could see WKU joining American. I mean, throw them in there.
They definitely get. They deserve it. I think.
Yeah, I think
Good
they should.
basketball
I think.
program. Good football and basketball program. So I mean.
Yeah, no, I think they'd be a good look there and be a good fit. But I mean, yeah, they're always going to get those quality dubs, and we've seen quality dubs all last week. And I mean, like I said, college has been better than NFL all year. Tennessee able to another dub there to their record. Oklahoma, I think Oklahoma, the scoreboard's not really indicative. I think Tennessee beat them a lot worse than just 10 points. Oklahoma, everybody was hoping that was the game of the week, at that time slot, midday. That was going to be a real fun game to watch. And Tennessee, man, showed out that they're good. They're going to be competing in the SEC. I don't like him as much as Ole Miss, but I do like him. I think with Nico there at quarterback, showing that he's worth the paycheck that he's been given. I think it was like 6-8 million that he got paid to come there. So, what do you think about Tennessee and how they're stacking up, with SEC this year?
Man, I hate to admit it anytime they're good, but They're really good. I'm scared when we're gonna play them a couple of weeks. I'm not gonna have fun watching that game. But
Oh yeah,
Nico is not even the best part of the team, and that's the scary part. Their defense is playing lights out, man. Their front four is James Pierce, top 5 pick probably, and then they got a couple other dogs up there. Tyler Barron,
hmm
man, they're just really good. Uh, they might run this. I like them better than Ole Miss right now, just because they've played people. Ole Miss haven't played nobody yet.
I know, but
I
I
mean,
think
that's all based
I'm
off of for
biased.
me. But
Yeah, I'm
Oklahoma, man. Who's that coach, man? The guy that from Clemson, it's their head coach.
Venables.
Venables, man. Oklahoma's always had good offense. As soon as he comes there, no offense. So
Yeah, Brett Venables. He's not going to light up that scoreboard at all.
he's
I
a defensive
mean,
minded coach. Clearly, they don't have a quarterback. I mean, you see, they benched Arnold at the halftime, and the other guy
yeah,
they can't run the ball. They're running back and they do nothing. I mean, they have no offense right now. Their defense is finally good. The first time in school history, pretty much. Well, since the good old days in the '80s and '70s, but.
yeah,
I just don't like. I don't think Venables is going to last there much longer.
no, no. He's trying to play Barry Switzer Oklahoma football. It's just not going to work out. He's trying to play the old school football. You either adapt or die. A lot of I got that from Big Matt McChesney. We'll talk about his team later here in a minute. But yeah, I mean, with Tennessee and Oklahoma, you thought they were going to at least do it a little bit better. Venables, like you said, not an offensive mastermind. He's not going to light up the scoreboard. And he's just not a big recruiting, I don't know. If I'm a recruit, going and playing for these old dudes and they're old, they're just no swag. And swag not even like, what they wear, just no swag. Like Lane Kiffin's got swag. Even I'll give even DeVore some credit. He's kind of growing on me. I kind of like DeVore.
Taylor
Um,
DeBoer's cool, man. He's cool.
yeah, I mean, a lot of these coaches that you see are coming up that are young, that aren't these just I don't know cookie cutter and program guys, and they understand that they have to keep their guys around, and that's one way you do it. You can not everybody's Nick Saban, not everybody can just go and this is how they are and this is their program, and if you don't like it, transfer, and it's Oklahoma. I mean, it's Oklahoma. It's
I didn't
already a
like the
hard
hire at the
sell.
time. I didn't like the hire ever. When they did it, I didn't like it. I was like, they're going to SEC in a couple of years. When they hired him, they knew that, and that's who they wanted to lead the program. It's Oklahoma. They could have got somebody more established. I think. I didn't like it. I didn't like it.
Yeah.
But shout out Tennessee's run game too. By the way, Dylan Sampson, man, their run game is carrying them more than their passing game. So watch out. And Tennessee's just
So
they're
do you
dangerous.
like this? Do you like this Tennessee team better than the Hendon Hooker healthy Hendon Hooker team?
The team overall is better. Yeah, they're not as explosive in the passing game, but their defense is there, and their defense is there. Yeah, they didn't have a defense that year, really. It was a shootout every game.
Yeah, they was shoot out every game. That's
Every
why they were
game.
fun to watch. Yeah, I
And
know.
that was fun
So
to
yeah,
watch, but unless they're a physical football team now that can still be explosive. So I like this Tennessee team more than years past for sure.
yeah, no, I'm right there with you. Yeah, so I mean, we'll see if Tennessee can keep it up. I mean, from what we see, either an injury happens or they just shoot themselves in the foot. So we'll see if they do it. But on to the next game. Been waiting to talk about this game. We got an OT thriller. We got Baylor at
What a game, man!
Colorado at the Buffs, and we had, I mean, a crazy ending. I mean, Travis Hunter out there solidifying Heisman. If his team can do his job, he's going to get it. He
I
has
don't.
to rely on his team.
I
His
don't know if they
team,
win another game, bro. Like
yes, they will. They're
before we
gonna.
go
No,
on
no, no.
anymore, it's the worst team they play.
I know. I don't know. Maybe just they just kind of fell apart. They've had some crazy things go their way. When you get special teams touchdowns and you don't win the game, you'll take that. So I mean, Colorado, Shadur Sanders showing why he's I think the best quarterback in the nation. I mean, he threw I was watching press conference today, Dion, Coach Prime, and he was saying how the drop because everybody watched it. He Shadur flings a Hail Mary. He's getting away from the pocket. Mahomes, he was ducking left to right, shedding people off, and he delivers a dot. Dude drops it less,
Yeah,
for the potential game time. But Dion was saying, now he was on about the 3 or 4 yard line when he dropped it, the first catch,
he probably
right?
wouldn't have
He
scored
would
it.
have had to he was still a step away from the end zone from getting it. So the Coach Prime was like, Well, what if he didn't get in the end zone? We had 2 seconds left. The clock doesn't go until the ball's set. They were out of timeouts. He said that was a blessing of him not catching that ball because they might have not got it off, or they'd have had to run something they didn't want to run.
When I was watching it live, that's what I was thinking. I said he would look like he was tripping. Like if he caught it, he was gonna fall. It looked like he wasn't gonna
Yeah,
score. But
yep,
the
I know.
announcers didn't even say that. But
And
I
it
noticed that while I was watching it, and I was like,
and
wow.
yeah, and it's another one of those things where we go with the NFL and we want to call it a pro game. It's another one of those rules where it really doesn't matter that the NFL is different is when that runner's down. Because in the NFL, he would have been able to catch it, get up, and then go in the end zone if nobody touched him.
Of
But
course.
college, it doesn't matter. As soon as you catch it, you're down, you're down. So that's one of those things I think some rules they need to look at. But like you said, yeah, he might have not gotten in the end zone. That could have saved him. And then Shadur, like I said, we've all seen it. He goes, throws another dot. He threw basically two game saving throws in one drive.
Yeah.
And then throws a dot to Lester, and he
Great
makes a
play.
great play. He makes a great play.
Great play by receiver too. Yeah, I haven't seen him get enough credit. Just
Well, the Coach Prime did give him some love today. I mean, he's been trying to, like you said, they have a Marion Miller too, which is good. His first catch of his whole season was a tutty in the same game.
look
So,
explosive.
yeah, they're good. They got I know Weaver from last year was on the team, and I don't know. I might take the depth of this year's team of receiving core.
Yeah, you still got Horn too.
Yeah, and you still got Horn, and we would definitely want to take the depth from the defense last year. I mean, this defense is balling. The defense,
Yeah.
they were 122nd in giving up yards last year. I think it was passing yards, and then now they're like top 10. So I
Top
mean,
10, really.
yes, they are. So I mean, dude, I'm telling you, the defense is obviously the most important in offensive line. We all get it. Shadur is going to make plays if his line can block. And Colorado's showing when that third quarter, fourth quarter comes around, they lock up on D, and that's really hard to do. And that's a formula, and that's something that if you got it, it's good. And then I think just with that play going into next week, UCF they are a 13-point underdog. What do you think about a 13-point underdog? What do you think about 13?
That's a lot. Central Florida's good, but I mean they're not that good. I don't think. I mean,
Yeah,
not.
I mean, y'all know. I mean, I'm going with Shadur. I'm rocking Shadur today. I mean, it's been Shadur all weekend, but I don't know if they're going to win, but I think they're going to cover.
Oh,
But
okay. I like that too.
I think they're going
I
to
thought you were
cover.
going for the bold prediction, real bold for the win. I was
No,
like,
I think UCF runs the ball really, 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 really good.
number
I
one in
can
the
say really
nation.
again, but I want to say I want to go back to that throw about how they could possibly win off of just that throw. You know, all year you try to do the culture. They got the new coach. They got Sapp. They got Lowenholt, and they got Pat Shermer in the building calling plays. Okay, so they're like, okay, we got pro guys in the building. We can do it. So then you go out in the field because you know you can do it and execute. Okay, either you execute or you see your teammate Lester and Shadur pull off some shit like that, pull off a play like that in the end zone, and you see it, you're like, oh, greatness is here. And I just watched it, and I think that's going to maybe catapult them. You know, it's one of those plays that it could really change. You think they were going 100% now? They could turn it up another notch. They could. I'm not saying they will. I'm not predicting that, but I do think that they really do have a shot this week. Belief is crazy, and once you think you can do it, then you can. But what are your overall thoughts from the game? Just your overall thoughts from the whole matchup, from Baylor to Colorado. Let me hear it.
So I liked Baylor's quarterback this game a lot, actually. Shawyer Robertson looked pretty good. He didn't make any mistakes. He looked fast. That was the first game he ever played good. That's what concerned me a little bit about Colorado's defense, but that was only the first half, really. He didn't do much the second half. Like you said, they locked up. The coaches made good adjustments, it looked like, in the locker room for sure, especially on the defensive side of the ball. And then they're clutch, man. They just got big time. They got two of the best players in the country. So if it's a close game, like you said, you have to watch out for them. If it's close, you have to put them away before the fourth quarter. Yeah, if you want to be comfortable. And so yeah, you can't let this team stay in the game, man. That's why I think they'll be in every game this year. I'm not saying that. I just because
Yeah,
their
no,
offense is so they're going to be explosive on offense unless they play another Nebraska defense. They haven't played many of them in the Big 12. Maybe Utah. That's about it.
Yeah, no,
Um,
I agree. I mean, I think
they did a good job stopping
I,
the run. Too.
now I'd say with with the Baylor, I mean, the dude was doing Tebow runs when he took it to the crib, and I mean, he was looking like Tebow. But with them not even having Shiloh back, and he's going to come back. They say he's probably not going to play this game. He'll probably play next game. But I mean, they really, and we're not really talking maybe about Travis Hunter enough, even more, which is it's hard. It's crazy because these two
Yeah,
dudes are just so good. But that Travis Hunter hit in the end zone, putting helmet to ball, you'd appreciate it. You're DB.
yeah.
You're putting a helmet to ball at the end zone to save a touchdown in OT for the game.
That play's just as big as a Hail Mary. I agree. That's just as big as a Hail Mary. You don't win without either one of them. So I'm
Yep, I
interested to see
know.
that. And something else about Colorado, I'm interested with this running back rotation. I mean, it's like a different guys every week. Who's going to step up and take the job? Is somebody
Yep,
going to do
I
it all
know,
year? Is it going to be Offerdale didn't play this week at all after he looked like the starter?
I
August
know.
Dave got most of the carries. He looked pretty good though.
He's good. He's good. I like him a lot. He kind of reminded me of like a Tony Pollard type guy who's just going to go in there, run the ball, and you're going
Yeah,
to
it's
get it.
not
I mean, yeah, I mean,
big.
but we'll finish off just with Colorado. I mean, we don't really pick a bona fide MVP. I know we didn't last week. I think we want to make it to where it's if a special performance happens, we want to highlight that with that MVP. I know we had Kyle McCord a couple weeks ago, but this week, and then we had Coach Hammond from NIU, which is a different one was a coach, but I mean, we had to give it to him off the dub.
Oh, well
So
deserved.
they just took the loss this past week to Buffalo.
The Mac this year,
The
but
Buffalo.
let's just say something. I gotta say the Mac race this year is gonna be better than ever. Mac's this year. Northern Illinois, Buffalo, Toledo. This year's gonna be great.
I
Tuesday
know
night football,
Mac
Wednesday night football. Can't
This
wait.
is it. This is it. So yeah, but like I said, Buffalo. I have to give a shout out. Jason Wright, quarterback there in Virginia, Buffalo commit. So he's pretty hype on the win too. So all right. So yeah, like I said, MVP here. Go Shador. Won't harp on it too much. 341, two tutties through the air, one in the ground. Looking good, man. So I
Great
mean,
game. He's really
he's
good.
showing what he can do, and I think he's been able to really learn in real time. He'll be able to progress through the season. But I mean, there's a lot of these power rankings that we're going to say, where is he really lining up across all the quarterbacks? We want to say he's up at the Heisman. We want to say there's some other quarterbacks out here, Cam Ward. Well, we can compare him right now to everyone else and go ahead and let's see. So we got our quarterback power rankings here. Cam Ward at the top. Jackson Dart coming in there at second. A lot of people's Cam Ward. If you're not thinking Shadur, you're thinking Cam Ward and the Heisman. Jackson Dart as well sitting probably next to him. So, I mean, you got pretty good. You got Nico. You got some guys here that a lot of people don't even know. I
Wow,
mean,
Brendan Thorsby. Wow.
Brennan Sorsby, I disagree. I think that was a clickbait here, but I mean, I really do. This is, CBS put this together, so I mean, we'll come out with our power rankings here later in the year. Can't wait. We was able to get our pre-draft last year, our guys, and those guys are looking pretty solid so far. So, yeah, with the
Wow.
quarterbacks, we got the rest of the list here. This is not the end. So, do we have the rest of the list? You might replace some other guys here. So, before we go ahead and get into the rest of the list, I guess we want to go ahead and go through the rest here, and then we'll see. All right, where are we going? So shout out, Louisville
Yeah.
Love here, hometown team. Uh, I don't think Riley Leonard is get. I think he's a little bit higher, but not too much higher to where I could make a huge fuss about it. But as you see these few here, what are you really thinking about the quarterbacks? Who is impressing you so far this year?
Do they have a? Does it tell you how they judge these guys? Is it like a
No, I mean
QBR,
these are all just no. I mean
QBR or
honestly, they're
opinion, or is this opinion?
you could come up with 10 different quarterbacks for each one of those categories.
I mean, some of them are just funny, like
Yeah,
Miller Moss.
yeah.
Miller Moss behind Beaver and Morton. Come on.
Yeah, I don't think Miller Moss is better. I think they do that just for the clicks, obviously. Like that's why I can't wait till we'll be able to break down our list. Why I don't want to come out with a power rankings list right now, we just don't have enough tape.
Too early.
Conference
It's
play is
too
not in
early. I
full
agree
swing.
because
Conference is just starting. We got to see what these dudes are on. It's a marathon, not a sprint. But we just want to go top three. I mean, we're looking at a lot of the better quarterbacks. I guess Miller Moss, obviously up there with the Mount Rushmore this year, top four, top five coming in. But the other quarterbacks, I think Nico not draft eligible. A couple of these guys not draft eligible. So, what do you think about Jackson Dart though, Cam Ward, and Shadur Race right now?
Right now, Jackson Dark Cam Ward are ahead in the housing race for sure, but they haven't. That's because they've been stat padding. Miami, they did against two good teams. Well, not going to say good teams. Florida and South Florida are not respectable teams, though, at least. Ole Miss hasn't even played a respectable squad yet. So Jackson Dutch numbers are looking insane. I mean, that's what Heisman's about, though, is the numbers, really. So if they go 10-2, he's probably the favorite right now, but Cam Ward, too, man. His numbers are just as good, and Miami might go undefeated. They might run the table. They might run
I
the
think
table. Shador's
I
just
think they
going to
might.
better NFL guy to me than both of them. But in terms of Heisman race, I just don't think his team's going to be good enough as Ole Miss and Miami to give him enough votes.
No, I feel that, and I mean, well, it's. I know there's been three finalists. I know back when Johnny Manziel won it, there was only three: him, Manti Te'o, and then who was the Kansas State Colin
Oh,
Klein.
Klein, yeah.
Klein. So there was only three. But has there been ever? Do they do four? Do they do four finalists ever?
Sometimes
Ever?
there's five.
That's what I'm saying. So I
Five's the
think you're going to
most.
go. I think you're going to go Cam Ward. You're going to go Jackson Dart, Shadur Sanders, Travis Hunter,
Yeah,
Ashton Jeanty.
I
Five. I
think.
mean,
Yeah, him or I think Dylan Gabriel gets in over one of these guys at the end of the day.
no, no.
He's like
Ah,
84%. He's like 84% completions, and Oregon played way better their last game. Watch out.
okay. No, I think that's one of those things where they're with how shaky they started first three games. They're going to have to kind of prove that, and I don't think anyone's will kind of argue with it how they'll have to prove it. But I mean, like you said, we had a great 6 games here we chose. I would say this week was way better than last week as far as the games. But I think a lot of what we saw here is just you got to show up every week. If you show up every week, you undermine your opponent. You're not going to win. You have to run the ball. Every team has to run the ball. Colorado's learning it that way. They're running the ball more and they're winning. So I think what we're going to see here with the season unfolding, you're going to see. I mean, we already got guys uh, transferring, so we got it's crazy. So I mean, the biggest thing I think we will see is LSU is a big one. I want to see of what they're going to do. Is LSU going to really keep it up? Time will tell. I do like the Michigan performance from last week, but I don't think they'll be able to really keep up the longevity. Um, Colorado this week, UCF. I think we'll have a full breakdown of the weeks. This week of all the games, start to finish. Pick a new 6. Will we have UCF Colorado on there? Maybe. I'm not a biased Colorado guy, but they're the most entertaining team, and they have 2 guys that they're going to be up for the Heisman. So when's the last time you can say that? I don't think ever. So I don't think that what we'll see in last year or what we see in Colorado, how they just kind of go down the hill. I don't think we'll see it. But we'll move on here. We got Jim back in here. Technical difficulties, but we're able to keep it rolling. But we'll wrap it up for college. I do want to run into our Sunday and Monday, just our full slate of NFL. It's been a pretty good start to NFL as just being competitive, but quarterback play down and just overall play down.
It's ugly.
People want to say the defense is good, which I think that argument holds more weight than people think. But
They
let's
are.
go ahead and get in here with the Vikings, man. Vikings looking strong with Sam Darnold, and he's really showing people how the Jets don't know how to run a organization. Same thing with Justin Fields is showing Chicago does not know how to run an organization. They don't know how to win. That's okay, but that's just a 30-team league at that point and counting. So, what do you think about the Vikings? Are they a real contender? I know last year they started off pretty good, then injuries started to pretty much riddle them to pretty much the rest of the year. So, what do you think about Vikings? Are they a real contender in the NFC? I know they got Green Bay coming up this week, but what are you thinking about the Vikings Dogs?
Well, first off, all due respect to Sam Darnold, man. You got to say Brian Flores in the Vikings right now. It's
Flores.
all
Yep.
about that defense right now, man. Any quarterback that faces them is seeing ghosts out there, like Sam Darnold used to say. He's lucky he's playing for
Yeah.
the team he's playing on. C.J. Stroud hasn't played a bad game his whole career. Look what he did. Look what he did Sunday against that defense, man. Flores just has so many different looks, schemes he throws at you. You look at it on film, you've seen everything, and then you dial something up you haven't seen the week before. It's just really hard to defensive scheme for. So, if you can keep that up, I love the Vikings, man, because their offense, if Justin Jefferson's going to be there, it don't matter. If somebody's getting the ball, it don't matter who the quarterback is. So, I like their team a lot. Aaron Jones is averaging over 5 a carry, I believe, so far this year. Man, they're tough, man. What do you think about them?
Vikings, I mean, I'm trying to be not biased because with me being a Green Bay fan, I think they're better than what we've seen. The Vikings, I mean, yeah, Sam Darnold's playing the best we've had in his career. Jefferson's going to show up every week. He's going to go down as I don't know. We'll see. I don't really like making crazy projections, but George Jefferson's probably the best receiver in the league. Let's say if he's
Right
not,
now, yeah.
he's on your top three. So I don't, there you go. He's a stud. So I mean, Vikings. I think, like you said, Flores needs a lot of credit, man. And Coach JB was saying this on the show earlier today. I got to give him a shout out. With Flores, he was obviously let go too early, wasn't giving a shot, but he was also about right something about something else. Tua. He said Tua wasn't good,
Yeah,
and he was saying
did.
Tua's not the guy, and Tua is not the guy. They're going to have to blow it up. He's still on IR. I guess we'll probably find out on the twilight hour at 11:59 after that week fourth game that he's going to have to miss and see what they're going to do with his future. So I don't know. But back on topic with Vikings, I don't think they're a contender, but they're less steps away from being a contender as they were last year. So, yeah, I mean, I think they're good. I think I have to see a little bit more from them just with the product just honestly not being that good so far. I mean, yeah, they're undefeated. But I have to say they're a top 5 team though, performing right now, not talent-wise, not on paper, not when it's cold out, but right now they're among the top teams. So, yeah, I mean, we'll go ahead and move and see, just kind of play it by ear with them. The Texans were due for a bad loss. The Texans haven't played a bad game in so long. Yeah, it happens. I mean, I think if you really want to go narratives and a hot take, did Stephon Diggs come in there? Is it going to be a subtraction by addition? Are they going to be worse than they were with adding him in? When you add those stars in, sometimes they, wide receivers being the most drama-filled position there is, they're the biggest divas. Is Stephon Diggs, is he the problem? I don't even think that's even a narrative that can be said yet because we're not far in the season. And
Josh Allen looks better than ever.
Josh Allen looks good. I mean, Josh Allen's like you said,
Stephon Diggs thing. Josh Allen looks better.
And that's what I'm saying. Subtraction by addition, and you reverse that with Bills. It's addition by subtraction. They didn't have any big free agent pickups. They didn't have any big signings or huge draft steals that everybody's going crazy about. I think a lot goes away when the ball, whatever the rock, the pigskin, whatever you want to call it, it's getting shared around more, and it's when you don't know where it's going as a defense. It's a lot harder. So we'll move on from that game. We'll go ahead and go Eagles and Saints. Saints were rolling. Eagles were plus 2.5. I like this game just from a betting. I didn't bet on it. I just liked the line. It was an interesting line. Saints coming in. Alvin Kamara coming in off the 4-touchdown performance the week before. So I think everybody chalked them as being good. And I think a lot of people are skeptical on Sirianni. I think it's after the Saquon throwaway he had. It should be 3-0. Unless Saquon dropped the ball, my stepmother and her aunt makes that catch. They make that catch. So everybody makes that catch. Saquon Barkley. I do too. I do too from the play.
I blame the player. I'm saying I don't blame the coach. I blame.
Oh, no.
He's making too much money. I don't mind the play call.
No, I agree. I think they're mad at those. I think they're mad at Sirianni just any time they do bad, they just blame Sirianni. So, I mean, Saints came in. Derek Carr. Usually, this is his time of the year. He's usually balling out left and right this time of the year. Then, as the season goes down, he'll go down. And he really won't play up to par. But road win for the Eagles. Jalen Carter balling out. The D-line had to win that game. The D-line with Davis and Carter, and then they got the vets to really steer them in the right direction. I mean, I was thinking about this. It's really funny to look back at those people with saying Tua was better than Jalen Hurts. It's just funny, and I hate to kick a dog while he's down because Tua's hurt. But even if he wasn't hurt, I mean, just to think when Jalen Hurts, you had Jalen Hurts and Tua, and people that were saying Tua is just better. I don't know. I knew it really wasn't a thing. But I mean, Eagles looking good. First year, without Kelsey up there up front, there were some questions coming in with that, but their O line's balling, the D line is
Saquon ran all
balling.
over him.
It's so simple, man. It's peanut butter jelly. You got to have a good quarterback. You got to have a good offensive defensive line. I think what people when they or if you listen when they listen to this show more, they're going to realize how simple the game is. It's so hard, but it's so simple. You have to run. I was saying that when your camera's kind of messing up about college. You have to run. Your quarterback has to play good. It's that simple. Your line
Yeah.
has to play good. And that's why we see. I think when we were growing up, and that the whole narrative was just you have to have a good left tackle. You just have to have a good left tackle, and that's it. And now you have to have a good whole O line, and they have to. Your both of your guards and your center have to be interchangeable. They got to play all three positions. Your left and tackle has to play right. Your right has to play left. It's a total. With them being a 53-man roster, a lot of people say they need to take the roster and make it a bigger roster. Well, the reason they don't do that is because those players don't want to give up that money. They're getting
Yeah, right.
they're paying if they don't want to pay more than 53 players because if they do, it's less money.
You
That's
get
why the
paid
players
less.
are.
Yeah.
That's why the lineman before the left guard's going to learn how to play right guard before he says, "Hey, let's just get another right guard." So, So I'll say with a few things here before we go into the next slate of games. I mean, we do have the Bills, like you said, they're playing so good right now. Jaguars are absolutely trash. I mean,
Oh
they
my
are bad.
goodness.
They're bad. They're bad. You have to blow it up. Them and the Dolphins are in a real similar situation. But the only thing the Jags don't have is the big name wide receiver. But what are you thinking about
Yeah.
the Bills and the Jags game? And are you thinking they are a different Bills team? And how is this Bills team right now different than what we've seen in the past besides Stephon Diggs?
Oh, I'm not lying. I'm not gonna lie. I'm sold on the Bills, man. I'm in. I don't
All
like
right.
them. I don't like them. Like see who I like behind me. Same
Yeah. Yeah.
same states. I don't like the Bills really, but man, Josh Allen's looking mature. That's the word for it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
All
he
right.
looks mature now. Wasn't mature before. He looks mature, and that's huge. I don't think Stephon Diggs was a hindrance to him. Yeah, they're going to be better without him. I think he's a great player. Probably a future Hall of Famer, but that doesn't always make you a good team player. And then
Yeah.
James Cook in that run game, man. James Cook in that run game has just made them so hard to stop offensively. And then the whole defense is just front to back, just solid, disciplined, well ran defense. I like them as my favorite, biggest competitor to the Chiefs in the AFC right now for sure.
Yeah, I know. I agree. The Bills are humming right now. I mean, there's only a handful of teams that are actually playing good. Vikings, Bills are two of them. I think that with the Jags, man, I have to see a new coach in there before I can write off Trevor Lawrence. But I will say this after this game.
I'm gonna
Like
start
I
a
said
narrative.
last week, what are you thinking? What are you saying?
I'm about to start a narrative.
Start it.
I seen some, stuff today about QBs. Stat comparisons. All that fun stuff they do. And it was a side by side of everybody's, favorite young quarterback, Trevor Lawrence, Golden Boy. Everybody still seems to
Yep.
like him, even though he is not playing well. And it was the other guy was, the hated on since he's been drafted, really, Daniel Jones. Um, Trevor Lawrence has 2 less interceptions and 10 less starts than Daniel Jones. How about that? How about that? Only 1,000 less yards, way less rushing yards. The record's about the same. So let's just say if Trevor Lawrence was in New York, he wouldn't be liked. That's put things in comparison about where you play in the country. Because if you play New York, you'd already be booed out.
Yeah, no, I mean, I agree. I agree with New York media. They do that to players, but I will have for that stat you said. That's an interesting stat. I mean, hey, with Trevor Lawrence, I would say this. Last week, I said on our last episode, I have to see him with a different coach before I can write him off. I don't even think it's the coach anymore. I think I have to see him with a different team. I think he just needs to get a change of scenery somewhere that's gonna get him, somewhere else. That's where he'll be able to kind of Justin Fields situation where he just needs a different change of scenery, and he can maybe salvage and get back to where everybody thinks is he the golden boy? I don't know. I mean, if we want to talk, this is a great graphic right here because we get to talk about the next golden boy who they're just not looking good. And I mean, we can just roll into it. We can compare Joe Burrow. I mean, Joe Burrow out here, he's facing another LSU Tiger. So he's able to Big Jalen able to get the dub on his big homie. One guy. Well, did Joe Burrow win the Heisman? He won the Heisman, right?
Yeah, they both
Yeah.
won 2
So
Heisman
both won
last year.
Heisman's, but he was able to get the natty. Joe Burrow was, but hey, they're making big boy money now, and Big Jalen was able to go ahead and get the dub against Burrow. I'm a big Burrow guy. Always have been, just because when I started to really get into cover college ball, I was able to see to Burrow, and that was the first year. And I was able to really take deeper dives into the games and really see these new sets of players and what they're on. Because when I seen Burrow at LSU, man, I mean, he had arguably the best team around him, but he arguably had the best season, in college football ever. So I've always been on his side. I wish he would have got that ring against Mahomes. Injuries have been hurting him, but man, at this point, he needs really a new coach. He don't need to change the scenery. He needs a new coach. I would say Burrow needs a new guy in there calling plays and just somebody in there to help him out a little bit more. They've had a lot of drama this year. We all know that. So, I mean, yeah, I don't know. I think the Bengals are some steps away. They lost some guys. They lost Mixon. They lost Bates. And then now they went ahead and lost, Boyd. So they've lost 3 guys that were playmakers guys and, locker room guys, because if you're losing to the Commanders, you more than likely got a little bit of a locker room problem. It's not all on the field. So they got a little bit something in there that's maybe they'll be able to work out the kinks and iron it out. I'm pretty optimistic with them. They're never really too great, at this time of the year. So I don't, I don't think they're just great at this time of the year. Honestly, they're just not. So I think what we're going to see here from the Bengals is one or two things. They're going to implode. It's just not going to be a good year, and we'll deal with it later. Or they're going to rise up and they're going to go ahead and answer. But I don't know. I really don't know. I think a lot of these games or a lot of these teams are showing why you really have to don't take anyone for granted. You can't really you can't sleep. So I mean that's pretty much a few of the other games we wanted to go ahead and really cover. I know we have the Chargers game we want to go ahead and cover with Chargers and Steelers. Steelers looking good, man. I mean, Justin Fields is out there saying that he may not give up the spot to Russell Wilson when he gets back. We'll see. I think they'll give Russell kind of they will prepare him to fail. I think they'll let Russell come back in, and as soon as he makes a bad decision, a couple of bad plays that they would normally maybe let slide, they're going to pull and put Fields back in, and they'll be off and rolling, I think. And they'll, Tomlin will more than likely have that team in the playoffs or at least in contention. So, Steelers playing ball, man. You got Watt, TJ Watt out there balling. Chargers were banged up coming in, but they're starting a whole lot better than what people thought. So I think 3-0 on the Chargers was a little bit too far-fetched, honestly. It's not that too surprising the Steelers were able to get the dub on that one. All right, so we'll go ahead and move on here. Broncos, Buccaneers. You're looking at the Broncos here. Bo Nix able to get his first win as a starter. Broncos get their first win of the year against the Buccaneers. Now 7 points. Baker Mayfield not able to run it up there like he's been able to do the past couple weeks. But I would say one thing. I like the Broncos and their trajectory and their ceiling. They're not going to do anything crazy this year. This is a year where you get a lot of good film, and you get a lot of good film to kind of just build on and work around and fine-tune because it looks like they know they got their guy. So we'll see there what's going to unfold, but then we're going to look at the Packers, my team here. I try not to get too biased here, but, anytime you see a revenge game in sports, it's huge. Anytime you see a revenge game, I root for anybody that's revenge game. You see Malik Willis come in. It's his second start ever, and he's out here balling. I mean, we was able to have the defense guessing in a way that you're not really able to have them guess. I mean, when you have a mobile quarterback, I'm a fan of mobile quarterbacks. I always will be, just because you have that defense guessing, and they don't know what you're going to do at any given moment. You got somebody on their heels. You don't know if you're going to do RPO, pass, screen, or throw it down the field. Now, with Jordan Love, he can run, but they just don't want him doing that too much, which, I get it. He's, paid $200 million. So anytime you got a guy making $200 million, you're pretty much going to want to keep that guy safe, and you're going to want to, pretty much keep his longevity in and let it rock there. So, yeah, good win from the Packers. I really like what we're doing. What we're able to do here, I'd say, is really put together a full 4 quarters. We've had a lot of issues with that in the past. I mean, secondary's playing good, D-line's playing better. I'm not going to sit and say that they're really great, but D-line's playing good, and I think we have the best receiving core in the NFL. We were facing a team that were on paper was supposed to have the best receiving core in the NFL, but I think it's like it's a difference, a peanut butter and jelly, jelly sandwich, no PB&J is not too great. So I think if you don't have a quarterback to get in the rock, they're not going to be too good. Will Levis isn't good. They'll be in the market for a quarterback here. We'll see if they go after one of the young guys that these teams are giving up on, I think, too early, or if they'll go draft or a vet in free agency. So Packers able to get the dub. We'll see. They get the Vikings this week. We'll have a full breakdown of that here later on. So they'll go ahead and move on to the Ravens and Cowboys. Lamar, man, I don't know if I had to take a pause just because I had to really see here and see. I didn't think that we were going to have too many more, possible haters for Lamar. He's had so many haters. I think with a lot of these new quarterbacks in, with Caleb Williams, he's been able to take some of that Lamar hate off his shoulders because a lot of people don't like him. But able to get the win against the Cowboys. Cowboys were fighting back at the end, but they weren't able to get it put together. They were able to get the first win of the season. If the Ravens go 0-3, not looking good at all. They say if you go 0-3, your odds of making the playoffs are pretty much slim to none, especially with that 17th game because once you find out the identity of your team, bye weeks start rolling up quick, and then you're gonna have to start getting your banged up. It gets bad. It gets bad when you go 0-3. Players start getting hurt, and it just gets bad. There's not too many turnarounds here later, and I don't think you're going to see a season or a team turn around their season too much when our quarterbacks aren't playing as good. They're not able to throw the ball down the field, get those big plays. So, we'll move on from here. Ravens, I think, will be able to do better, though. So 49ers and Rams, I was looking at this game here for like the first half. 49ers, man, I said before the season, I think this is the year where they kind of implode and kind of move off the favorites list of who's going to win the ship. They're just going to be probably an average playoff team here, which I hate to say because I really like their defense. I love Fred Warner. I love Debo. And I like the story of Purdy, but I don't think he's really the guy that's going to get it done long-term for him, man. I really don't. But they weren't able to get the win. 27-24. The Rams, they're playing really good, man. I think the Rams, you're going to have to sleep. They ain't even got Puka Nacua back. Once they get Puka Nacua back, you have to watch out for him, man. Like I said, I can harp on it again. With quarterbacks not playing good, you're gonna have these vets come in and Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers looking like he's turning back the clock. We got Matt Stafford. He's gonna ball. He's a part of this slim type, these groups of these quarterbacks that have been here, been doing it, and you can just really rely on them at the end of the game, in the fourth quarter to really take them down and get your team the dub. There's not too many quarterbacks like that, man. And right now in the league, and pretty much ever, but especially right now, it's slim pickings for a quarterback that's going to go ahead and take that team and win the game, put the team on his back, and him get the dub. So you're going to see some guys do that, and when we see it, it's going to be a bigger deal than in the past because we're just not seeing it. So if we want to go ahead and go to another dub of just guys who continue to win, continue to get just wins. People want to say they skate by or they barely win, they cheat, they get lucky, anything. Taylor Swift curse or whatever, magic dust or whatever. The Chiefs get a dub, 22-17. It was the last game of the week there, the Sunday slate. So Falcons were looking good, man. They're looking better than a lot of people think. Better than I think. But Chiefs able to get the dub, reigning champions going for that three-peat. Kelsey's not looking that good. I don't think Kelsey is Kelsey. He's kind of starting to take a little dip here, but he's still good. Still going to be a threat there. And we all know Kelsey's going to make big time plays in the fourth quarter. But yeah, Chiefs were able to get the dub. I don't think anybody raised their eyebrows too crazy when they saw that the Chiefs won. So yeah, I guess we'll go ahead and move on to our last slate of the games here. I like the Panthers game, man. I mean, everybody we're talking about. I mean, we're going to go over the rest of the week, the upcoming. But the Panthers, are they going to go ahead and make it 2 wins in a row and get the 500? I don't know. But you like to see when a team rallies together for their quarterback. It sucks for Bryce Young. A lot of people saying he's getting pulled too early, which I agree with a little bit there. But yeah, I would say with the Panthers, man, Raiders, they're not looking good. They don't have a quarterback. Aiden O'Connell, everybody thought he was going to be a starter. They bring in Minshew to kind of bring that veteran presence, and he hasn't really been able to get it done. So I would say with the Raiders, they'll get a few more big wins, but I would say Devontae Adams might be leaving if they don't get a quarterback. Um, I think the Raiders will be in the market for Bryce Young. I think they'll be in the market for Shedeur Sanders. I think they'll be in the market maybe for Trey Lance. Watch out for those three guys, and maybe they will go. They will go to their and the Raiders in Vegas and possibly get a run with them. I think if they get a good quarterback and they're building that new culture there with Antonio Pierce, AP is their coach. Who knows where they can go? I think they can kind of take over a few of the other spots, like the Tennessee Titans, kind of in that realm. They'll be able to kind of replace them and how good they are. So we can go ahead with the Dolphins, man. Won't harp on this game. Like I said earlier, Dolphins are going to look like they're going to have to blow it up, like with their quarterback situation. Skylar Thompson's now hurt. They got Tyler Huntley coming in, who knows if he's going to be able to get it in, be able to really and rally around them. Nobody's expecting it. Dolphins pretty much did a 180 on expectations. I think the Dolphins might be in a race with the Panthers now on who has the worst season. So we'll see that. We'll see that unfold, and we'll see here. So I guess we want to go over the last game here that I was able to see here of the week here: Lions and Cardinals. Lions, man, Motor City Dan Campbell is able to get the dub with Jared Goff. I don't think they're a contender, but they make the NFC look a lot better than what it is, especially there in their division there. So Packers, Lions, Vikings. With the Vikings and the Lions getting their stuff together, that division looks a whole lot better. And then you got the Bears on the come up. People think, and we'll see about that. So yeah, I mean, a lot of these teams. It's not the best product like where a lot of people saying. I'm not going to be too negative on it though, just because I want to see it do good. But if it doesn't, then we'll have to just live with the product. But I will say one thing: I will go back and bring our scores in pretty much from the college, from our top six. When we look at these top six games, man, we don't look at we can just go down the SEC, I guess, right? And then I guess that would be our top six if you want to go talent wise or whatever. But I really try to get 6 games that are just really good matchups and that are going to really live up to the hype. You can't watch every game. You can only have a select that you're going to really watch the game and not watch the highlights of. So I really do take pride in trying to get the 6 best games out there to people that they can actually, take their time out of their week to watch. So out of a long week, you want to watch a good game. So we try to get the best list of those good games, and all these have lived up to the hype, man. I will say they all lived up to the hype, dog. They've all really shown that that there's not really a watered down system. I just think with the transfer portal, the talent level has just risen. The gap is a little bit thinner, and there's nothing wrong with that. I don't think that there's a problem with having more, pretty much. I don't think we're going to have a problem with teams really getting competitive. If you see a bad team make a run there and beat an SEC team, beat a Notre Dame, NIU of Notre Dame, are you really looking at Notre Dame playing bad, or are you looking at NIU just being good? That's a glass half full, glass half empty thing that you can kind of decide on yourself. I think it's good for college football. I love it. I'm a Midwest guy. Max around here. We got Louisville. We got UK, Western Kentucky. And I'm not picking these games. I'm not biased. I don't have a favorite team. But I like these teams and what they're doing, and they're balling. UK was able to make a run there with Georgia, last week. So a lot of the teams around here, they're not SEC, and Louisville was Conference USA when I was a kid. So it's not like we don't have Power Fives around here, but there's a lot of good football everywhere you go, and with talent pretty much being spread out across the board, you're going to be able to see that. So But yeah, man, we'll have a full slate here. Another top 6 games for the week. I'll go ahead and do a rundown here. We'll have some highlights, get some more stuff. We got interviews coming up with some high school players here, some prospects who got D1 offers. More on that here in the later in the week. We got a few players we want to go ahead and showcase. But until then, y'all peace out here, and y'all have a good.
Semi beef.